Evening, everybody. We're going to whisper a bit because our daughter, who is in her GCSE year, says we're keeping her awake every night with our lives all to marry.
Yeah, she says having YouTubing parents isn't the greatest fit with learning for her GCSEs.
It's not good. So,
good evening, Namaste.
The thing is, we get too excited and then we start shouting.
Why do we get so excited?
I think we're just excitable.
We're just quite excitable, aren't we? Yeah, we're either fully into things or not.
We just really, really love it so much, and we've realised that Thomas and Adrian's relationship is very like ours.
Oh my God, that row!
That's exactly what we're like, but it goes on for hours.
But can I just say something? Thomas is really working on himself.
He is.
You see him
really admire him.
tripping over himself to stop himself from saying certain things.
Because they're not a natural fit.
No.
And actually, it's really lovely to see Thomas, who always... Oh, let me not see that one, it's upset me too much. Thomas, who was very much a looks person.
Yeah.
You know, always got this, he's blonde, I don't go out with blondes and all this. You can see, and this is what I do love about this show when it works, is it's trying to get people to see beyond. And if you stick with it, I mean, if they'd gone out on a date, they wouldn't have lasted more than 2 hours, would they?
No,
if they'd met on Grindr,
but that's what I like.
they wouldn't have lasted more than 2 hours. But because they have to commit, they're starting to see things in each other that they wouldn't have seen otherwise.
But I think that's what's clever about the show. The show is all about sticking beyond your first impressions.
Yeah.
It's all about, if you do stick beyond your first impressions, can your opinions change? Can they shift? What can you find? What will you discover? But a lot of you are already commenting on Whitney. Is that a natural reversal or not?
Okay, so what's happened with Whitney is she's had a few days away, and she's had, like she said, I feel heard. She's had a proper psychotherapy session. As you know, though I do agree that she's been unbelievably rude, I do also wonder if she is somebody. You know, she lost her mum in the most tragic of circumstances, suddenly killed in a car crash. She goes out to work one day, 54 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think she was
Jenny Ward says Whitney and Duka are odd. It's plain and simple.
And I think it might be that she's just in the swirl of grief.
Well, Dawny Harvey says Whitney had to get out the loss of her mother. It was a barrier. I thought
but
Duka...
he's very odd.
Well, Duka's got lots of barriers in front of him too, and I don't quite know what they are. It could be part of it, could be
language.
A cultural thing, a language thing. I thought he was genuine when he got upset.
Yeah.
He was genuinely distressed that he had misread her, and maybe that's something that he feels he does, and so that was quite that kind of was a shock to him.
Yeah.
I thought he was sweet. I thought
it was sweet, but I find it incredibly uncomfortable, the two of them, in any situation.
Can I be really honest? I find them a bit disturbing.
It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right.
I was thinking, who the fuck's that guy
I know,
sitting down? And it was me.
We've got a delay.
We've got a delay on our screen.
Ourselves 2 minutes
Faith
before.
Goodman, Duka was lovely tonight, but they are odd. They're very odd, and she's very strange. That's
very
strange
We
delivery.
just can't work them out. It will all come revealed. Now,
Cassia. Oh, Cassia and
oh my God, it was so fucking funny when her leotard split.
Do you know what she reminded me of? You've done that.
Have I?
Yeah.
Where did I do that?
I don't know. You bent over somewhere and it split right up the middle.
Did I?
Yeah. I sharpened my pencil in it.
Mark, shut up. I said to Mark, what would you do if there was a woman coming on to you so strongly as that?
Well, okay, do you want to posit
the
question?
Will you make your own answer? I'm not going to tell them what you said.
What are you suggesting? I shouldn't say what I said?
Maybe not. Yeah, I think you can say it in a much softer way.
Okay, here's something that I think must be said. If a man was being as forward as Cassia's being with Kwame, would we be as comfortable with it?
Well, I said this to the girls at Loose Women the other day. I said, if you actually do think about it, because we were all sort of sticking up for her.
Sorry, Rhiannon Kemp, but she just carried on as if the hole was there all along. We'll come to that.
She did.
We'll come to
but
that.
She's assertive, she likes sex, and she likes to say what she wants. But the thing is, he is not feeling it.
Oh, he's not feeling it at all.
And at Loose Women the other day, I said, if that was if we were watching this roles reversed, and he was going, I just want to get naked.
Let's say his bollocks
and the
slipped
poor
out,
girl
and his balls
is just
slipped
sat
out
there
in the
looking at him like he is looking at her like, he went, oh really? Because he doesn't want to get naked. He doesn't want to have sex. So yeah, we would be outraged.
Well, we'd be outraged, but also, again, right down to split leotard. If his, and I'm being crude, if his balls fell out, it would be disagreeable, but it was her bottom, and that was fine. She was absolutely fine with it. Zoe says, the thing is, being that
So
desperate
funny.
is such a turn-off. I really
Is
think
she desperate, or is she just really assertive and is saying, come on now, I want to have sex?
And that is fine. That is fine, but even Natasha Tiramos is saying, I think Cassia's being way too forward. She's putting a lot of pressure on. You put pressure on a man like that, he's going to run for the hills.
Well, what would you do if you had that sort of pressure?
I'd have sex with her. I tell you why.
Don't shout.
I tell you why.
Why? Why would you have sex with
Because
Vivian?
it would buy me.
Let's have a little
Because I think it would
discussion
buy
about-
me 5 days where I wouldn't have to. I'm sort of thinking long game here. I think it would just mean that she'd be happy and that would be it, and we can move on and maybe
I don't think you'd
play
be,
golf.
I don't think you'd be clear for 5 days. Who thinks he'd win himself 5 days?
Oh, I actually, and good night. Either.
Listen. Do you think that would buy him 5 days?
Do you think that would buy me 5 days, guys? If he...
Natasha, I think she wants it every day.
Christ.
We're whispering so unique because
Yeah.
Kiki's already in bed. Just got really early for school.
Cassia was cringy tonight.
5 hours
Nads,
maybe, said Dawny.
Nads, she's desperate as AF as fuck.
I just think she really likes sex. I think good for her. But I do think she needs to read the room better. I think she just needs
Well,
to just.
to be honest
I
with you,
think
I
if
think she
she
has read the
suddenly
room.
went, if I was her,
He's
I
repulsed.
would just totally stop
What?
any kind of forwardness.
What she needs
That's
to
what I
do,
would
she
do.
needs to
Take
change
the
her strategy.
pressure off.
She needs
Take
to
the
be
pressure
demure. She needs
No,
to
not
back.
demure.
No,
What's
but
that?
I mean, well, no, but she needs to be a bit more inventive rather than just getting in a fucking green leotard, bending over, showing a crack, and going, "I'm up for it." Sorry, that would
Jules
put,
says she'd eat you alive.
that would
Don't
put
start
anyone,
shouting.
but that would put anyone off. I mean, that would put anyone off. Not because she's not beautiful; she's a beautiful
Oh
woman.
God,
but
she's
that kind
so
of
stunning.
that forward kind of behaviour is
Well,
just.
that's not your thing, but there's an awful lot of people that would absolutely love that forward behaviour. And I think she should have, I don't know how clear she made it to the experts that she loves.
Sex.
Yeah, she's a
Shelley
she's
Silver
a
says,
full-power
I
woman.
think she is. Sorry, I love your quote. Shelley Silver, I think she is just horny.
She is.
I just
She's
love the
really
simplicity.
horny.
She's horny.
She's
horny.
testing him,
Can you
says
do an
Namaste.
impression of the dance? It wasn't really a dance, was it? What did she do?
Do you think she's picked up that he's doing the whole thing for the cameras and she's doing it now just to be
so
tricksy?
she's goading him.
Yeah.
That's a good
what,
point.
That's what, I don't know who said that.
Yeah, who has said that? That's a
Somebody
really
just
good point. That's a really good point.
Um,
He doesn't fancy her, but I think she. Excuse me, sorry, Lee Doran. I think she actually wanted to split her leotard. No shit, Sherlock. Sorry, Lee. I think she
Clodagh
did.
Regan, she's so pretty, but she needs to pull back.
Pull back and pull him up. I think you're right. I think she knows what he's really there for.
No, it wasn't me, somebody else said that.
No. But you read whatever was right. Whoever said it, you're right. And she's overplaying it now to sort of almost semi-humiliate him.
Melinda Hawkins simply says he doesn't fancy her.
It's true. So who else is in that? Wow, right. We're back at Vegan Gate.
Jules, I bet she's got a red room at home.
I bet she's got a swing. She's got a dungeon swing. Don't you think?
I think she's a full power woman who knows what she wants and she's not going to put up with anything less than she wants.
She needs a sewing kit, Alison Cooper Sammy. I think she uses leashes, leads, and whips.
Well, let's calm down now.
Sorry, I don't know how I got there.
Faith Goodman, Kwame has performance anxiety and is scared of her, but he fancies someone like Whitney.
Yeah. So we've got Whitney sort of in this strange reversal. It was almost like she was given Valium or something, wasn't it?
It's very
I didn't
strange.
really understand that.
It's very strange.
So we've got Kwame and Cassia. She's
April, what about April making
splitting
that
herself.
poor man do the
April
heights when he doesn't
George.
like the heights?
It was quite nice to see the top of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, but
But didn't you feel that all the women after the event the other night were all like, it was all very forced that they were going to be fun and they were going to be nice. Like, I felt Jess, it was very forced. Oh, now I can see you. Now, it's like they've all decided that they're really going to try and make it work. Not April as
I
well.
think the producers have had a word with them.
What's the
I think they've said, come on, let's double down on
What's
this.
the lady's name with the funny, the older man that wanted to play football?
Oh, with Richie.
Richie and...
What's her name? The lovely lady. Oh, she was very forward with him playing football. She was doing ball skills. I mean, they were on the floor. What about when she's been overdoing her Achilles?
I think there seems to be something building there between
What's
them.
going on there?
I think they're starting to think they might have...
Is he gonna shoot and score?
Well, I mean, he does seem to think that there's this extraordinary electricity going on.
Well, I like the way she described him as a backpack. I thought that was quite an accurate description. He's like a backpack. I mean, God Almighty, I hope it works for them. But I just hope she knows the offside rule.
Channel 4. No, not Channel 4. What's it on? What's it
E4.
on? E4.
So yeah, there's them. April and George. There's something about April. April's. I don't know. I don't wholly know if I trust April.
You've always said that from the
I
beginning.
don't know. I mean, I think she's much more of a live wire than she's wanting us all to think. George is a serious soul, isn't he? He's very serious. I mean, I did say when he was squealing about coming down the side of the building, he has to be careful. Any man, this is an unfortunate fact.
April's a bit crazy.
She is a bit crazy. Any man has to be careful because as soon as you're challenged to do something like that, if you do look weak, it shouldn't be like this, but if you look weak and scared, she will get the ick.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Faith
saw
Goodman
me in a
just
nappy
says
falling
April
down...
has a nasty streak. She's got... It's
there's
weird. It's almost
flint.
like...
There's a flint.
It's almost like she was goading him. It's like, you know, when some women really like men that are a bit of bad boys, and it's like he's not a bad boy, so she's trying to get a rise out of him. It's almost like that.
Yeah, we missed the exact teaser at the end, but someone says, Joe McKenna says, teaser at the end suggests more April drama to come.
What did George say?
See, I think it's all about April Showers.
Because I sat on the remote, so we didn't hear what April said. What
George has a temper problem, I think, Rebecca. I'm not entirely. I don't disagree. I think he needs to lighten up, and I think she needs to, I don't know, sort of soften. There's a harshness to her that you know. I think she's a bit of a geezer. Do you know what I mean? I think she's a bit of a geezer.
Do you remember last? Honestly, me and Judy.
Something was happening.
Me and Judy, at least swimming the other day, round the back, we just couldn't stop doing the impression of April. I can't believe you would do that. Holding her tears in. Oh my God. So cringe, that
was
scene.
awful. Christos, April's an adrenaline junkie. I believe if it was the other way around, April would be crying and not wanting to do it.
She could do it, yeah.
Bit of toxic masculinity there.
No, but
He's
she
got
was
to be able
trying
to
to see. She was trying to see how much toxic masculinity was in there because she needs a certain amount of that.
Yeah, and there isn't any.
It's funny, you know.
Well, maybe there was a
Often,
bit. I don't know.
found this often with very beautiful women.
Yeah, tell us.
Quite often
Beautiful.
want that. No, not nice enough, but they quite
Guys.
often want that sort of angst. It's really weird. Do you think it's because they've also men respond to them very well and like them very easily, so they want a bit more of a chase because it's been quite easy to get people to be attracted to them?
I wonder whether it's a suspicion that it's not about who they are; it's about how they look.
Yeah.
And I think
feel
that
there's
maybe
a
that
bit of
runs
that
in a
going
negative
on. I
way.
mean, she's Miss United Kingdom, for God's sake. She'll have had loads of people coming on to her because of the way that she looks.
Yeah.
Used to adoration, yes, Steph Shorts. Maybe it's something like that.
Sorry, I just keep getting visions of Cassia's leotard splitting, and it's quite
So
frightening.
good.
It's quite frightening.
Tom and Adrian, that argument.
Tom and Adrian. What about him singing?
Oh, it was lovely.
I love that. And finally, what about the
And
Liz?
Tom's gone all, Adrian's gone all sweet.
I know,
and
he's gone
small.
lovely. He's gone
all Little House of the Prairie. God knows how that's going to mushroom into something else.
Whenever
Because I
he
tell you
keeps
one
calm,
thing,
it blows up
it's
somewhere.
going to swing one way, swing the other. We were laughing. It's so like us. That's the sort of row we had. And I said to Mark, oh, he's got a next day after, the day after rowing outfit, you know,
Yeah,
big
his
jumper
little hood.
and like a...
But do you notice how he's almost sitting
Sweat.
on his hands not to say something when he's, when
he's trying to be
he's trying
so
to behave.
good. He's really trying
he's
to be
really
good.
trying.
I've really, really warmed to him.
Yeah. Don't mess with our Chinita. Oh, Chinita. Which one's Chinita? Is Chinita the one?
Oh, Vegan Gate, Shelley
Is
Silver.
Chinita the happy couple? Chinita's in the happy couple. Who's Chinita? Which one's Chinita?
Oh, yes, I
Chinita.
think
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
yes.
They're happy couple. They're boring. They're so
But
happy.
lovely.
They're lovely. They're happy. And
lovely.
they're
I
not
love
boring,
her.
but it's a boring
And she's had a
storyline.
hard life. I'm so glad she's
Yeah,
found
no, that's
somebody
lovely.
who's... Oh, it's perfect.
But the lesbian couple vegan gate, would you become vegan for your partner?
That went so tits up, that
That
didn't
went from
Okay.
brilliant to
I
awful.
think what was wrong with that was she should have just... She'd done the dinner, and that was really nice. And what she should have done was, you know, just eaten the vegan burger. They're not that bad. But she went, I'm sorry, I can't eat that. And it was
who's the
kind-
one who cooked it?
Yeah, and
Oh.
I found... So what are you going to do? You've cooked a meal for both of you and you're just sitting back going, I can't
Oh, I
eat
didn't
it.
realise that was
So
just-
she
I
started
didn't get
that. She did start
Oh,
that.
right.
I would have just forced myself and I would have eaten it. And then obviously the conversation would have gone to veganism and she would have said, you know, I would have said, it's highly unlikely that I'm ever going to give up meat.
Hmm.
I'll definitely eat some vegan meals with you, but I'm always going to love meat, like you're always going to love being a vegan. She hasn't said to her, as much as you don't want to be a meat eater, I don't want to be a vegan.
Yeah,
She
it's a
hasn't
simple
shown
line.
her
She's a
that
simple line.
mirror. She hasn't
Yeah.
gone, you wouldn't have a steak on Thursday on yes day for me, would
Yeah.
you? You wouldn't cook a steak.
Well, she
And
also
what I'm
needs-
saying is I will be flexible. I'll sometimes have some vegan meals with you, but I love meat and I'm not giving it up.
All she needs to know, the girl who cooked the vegan burgers, is what Faith Goodman says: vegan burgers are okay if they're not dry. I mean,
Yeah.
if she'd known that, Faith,
Yeah.
she could have
But I
partaken
think she was
in
making
it
a
with,
point.
with
She
Zoe.
made it and then I'm not going to eat it. And I
No.
just thought...
Yeah, so you're
But
right.
I
There's
do,
a bit of anger.
you're
in
so
there.
right, guys. It's so funny. She thought that the alopecia was going to be a problem. Who
It's
would have
not.
thought? She couldn't give a shit about that,
No.
but she really gives a shit about
Yeah.
being vegan.
What about the vegan? Well, there you go, guys. Looking forward
Food
to
does ruin relationships.
Yeah, you can do.
It's
You can do.
important.
Yeah, it's important.
Very important.
Well, so we're hooking up again tomorrow night, are we?
We are. We'll see you back here.
See you back
Do
here.
it all again tomorrow night. But meanwhile, of course, we'll see you for coffee morning. So see you tomorrow morning.
Good night, guys.
Bye.